Hey guys, Bridgie here, and in this video we're going to learn about Figma shortcuts and what are the essential and most important shortcuts for you to learn how to use Figma in a fast and efficient way. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you that I recently created a free cheat sheet where you can find all of the Figma shortcuts mentioned in this video plus more. And this is actually an extract of an upcoming Figma course, which I'm going to release in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on that and let's jump right into it. In this video, we're going to learn the most powerful and useful shortcuts that I personally use pretty much on a daily basis as a designer, having 10 years of experience in the field. And I want to share with you some of the most useful patterns. So let's get started with the very first ones, which are going to be the basic. And by the way, this is part of a two-parts video where we're going to explore even more shortcuts and useful elements in Figma. So let's get started with the very first one, which is the Move tool. And as you can see, by simply clicking on the V key, you can see that we're going to have the Move tool, and this is by far, one of the most useful tools to selecting and pretty much doing anything in Figma, as you may know. Another really useful shortcut is the one related to the basic shapes, such as the rectangles, so that you don't need to go on the top left menu item each and every time you need to select one of these basic shapes. The rectangle tool is that you can use with R is one of the most common patterns that you'll encounter in Figma. Moving forward, the ellipse, which is O, just like the shape of the shape, of course. And as you can see, very easy. Text T. So you can see a pattern by now that is that a lot of the times the letters are the same as the initial of that shortcut. So text is T, ellipse is O, rectangle is R, pretty much linear in that way. So let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the pen tool, which is P. And by the way, it's useful to see these type of videos and keep things in mind, but one of the best recommendations that I have for you is to really master the shortcuts and to make them secondhand. I recommend you to practice for at least 5 minutes each and every day, the first time that you open up Figma. And the most common ones, such as these ones, are pretty much going to become second nature in very short amount of time, but other ones will require some degree of practice. And if you don't actively practice these shortcuts, you're possibly going to fall in the trap of just doing the longer route, so clicking and maybe selecting in the nested menu items. So my recommendation is if you master the shortcuts, you're definitely going to become much faster at Figma, but you need to actively practice this. So P is for the pen tool, and then another really useful shortcut is F for creating a frame. So without having to click each and every time that you need to create a frame, simply click on F and that's going to do the job. Another really useful shortcut is whenever you want to select a color for an object with the color picker, simply click on I, and as you can see, the color picker is going to appear. And this is going to enable you to change colors in a very fast way. So really, really useful. Another really useful shortcut is K for the scale, which enables you to scale items in just a single click. And of course, whenever you're collaborating with other team members, you can't really go far without comments features, which you can access by simply clicking on C, and you can leave your comment directly on your file. Now, last keyboard shortcut of these basic shortcuts is going to be L for creating a line. So this is going to be almost like your basic basic set of shortcuts, if you wish. Now let's move on to some more complex ones, which are going to be in combination with respectively the command key and A in order to create an auto layout. So say that I'm creating this rectangle, and I added some text to basically create a button. Then I select both. Instead of right-clicking and going here to add auto layout, you can simply use Shift+A, and this is extremely useful, especially as you're creating multiple auto layouts, groups and elements within a file. As you can see, this is now an auto layout, so very easy, very fast. Other useful shortcuts are going to be the underline, which is Command plus U, and also one other one which I didn't added, which is Command plus B in order to create a bold. So very fast, very easy. You can also use Command plus I in order to access the italic. So I, U, B, and the text tool is going to be very easy to edit. Now another one which is quite useful is Command plus Y in order to see the outline of the work of the design file which you're working on. So this is going to be to enable you to have an X-ray view on the file, and again Command plus Y again in order to get back to the original view. Really useful, really nice. And also Command plus D for quick duplicate, so you can create duplicates of any element really in just a single click. And then if you have multiple elements, as we have right here, Command plus G in order to group them, and Shift G or Shift Command G in order to ungroup them. So Command G to group them, Shift Command G to ungroup them, and you can easily manage the groups in no time, much faster than right-clicking and going into the drop-down each and every time you have to group or ungroup an element. So this is definitely one of those must-have in this list. And also another nice addition to this is going to be the Command plus Shift plus O. And this is going to enable you to have the outline stroke. So you're essentially creating an outline stroke out of that very layer, which is going to be useful, especially if you're dealing with icons, illustrations, those type of things. So this is it when it comes to this intro to the essential Figma shortcuts, but we're going to explore more on this in later videos. And again, practice, take a moment after this video to just go on Figma, practice these shortcuts, and if you want to see the whole array of shortcuts, simply click on the bottom right hand corner. As you can see, there is this help and resources, and there's going to be I can't really see it from here since I have the video, but basically you can see the essential keyboard shortcuts, and you can see all of the keyboard shortcuts available in Figma, so that you can practice them and really keep them at hand at all times. So this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.